Hello and welcome to all beautiful souls out there. You're listening to the Restore My Soul podcast with Princess Millens, your favorite grief coach and emotional wellness specialist. In this space, we will help those who struggle with grief and loss and have real conversations about how to overcome it in every area of life. Through our personal stories, practical information, and wisdom from Princess and her special guests. We are here to educate, inspire, and empower you with the strategies you need in your emotional healing journey. We do not offer medical advice, but we believe that we can all learn to heal by creating a mindset to grow past our pain and push toward our purpose. Our goal is to remind you that grief is a journey and you do not have to walk it alone. No matter what the pain or loss is, you can be restored and live fully in your purpose. So let's push through the pain together as we share our stories of resilience, one episode at a time.
Well, welcome in everybody again for another episode of Restore My Soul podcast. Thank you so much for being here and joining this week. I'm so excited about this episode because this has been a topic that has been near and dear to my heart for several years now. But before that, you know, I'm your host. I'm Princess Millens, your favorite grief and emotional wellness specialist. And you know what we do here. We are here to educate and encourage and empower you in your own emotional wellness journey so that you can walk in your God-given purpose. We are here every week, and I hope that you continue to invite in other people to join in the conversation. So I don't want to prolong the time, right? I want to get right into this conversation that I'm going to have today. I am so excited about my special guest today. And Andrea Bailey-Tweed is with us today, and I'm so excited to have her on the show today. She has spent decades of her life in radio and television broadcasting, along with other top-level work as a communications professional within the USA government before she discovered and she suffered a health crisis that she's going to talk about later on in the broadcast, which led to today. And she is a certified clinical registered aromatherapist and the founder and CEO of Earth Owns Essential LLC. And her goal is to empower all of us to be proactive in our healthcare. And y'all know it's so important today. And she has a lifelong love, and I know that firsthand, to alternative and holistic healthcare, right? That began all the way back from the teaching of her grandmothers, right? So she has a local presence. She has an online distribution of services that she provides personalized consultations to those who want the supplies of the varieties of the pure therapeutic-quality essential oils, right? And so I appreciate her for being such an advocate in the community regarding holistic health. And I just want to welcome to the podcast, Andrea Bailey-Tweed. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Princess. I'm telling you, with an intro like that, I feel very important. Thank you.
Listen, you and what you do is so needed in this community. And I know that the listeners out there, the ones who will join in this conversation, they will have an eye opened once this conversation is over and to be continued, hopefully, in their own lives. And I know today that you're going to share your story about the value of the cases of emotional stress, the grief, mental and emotional turmoil that you have seen in your practice, and how what you do has helped so many hundreds and thousands of people all over the world, right? And so I want to just kind of start off by share with the audience a little bit about you and some things maybe that you have had to overcome to even think about being an aromatherapist. How did that all come about?
Believe it or not, it was so far off the back of my list that I would have never, ever told anyone that this was what I wanted to do. I had hopes and dreams of becoming an entrepreneur. But as you said, my career began in radio and television and communications, and I absolutely loved what I did. The higher I went, the more I worked with the government, it becomes a part of your head, you know, your ego, your lifestyle, and everything else. And I was soaring. One day I got up, I went into work. We were in a courthouse. I was going down the steps. I had been having back pain and leg pain a little bit, like, you know, almost if you had a real bad workout, nothing major, chronic. And going down the steps, I bounced all the way down. I went to plant my foot. I could not feel it when I landed my foot, and I just fell all the way down the steps.
Wow.
I was young enough and healthy enough that I would have thought that in a few minutes, you know, you get up because first off, you're embarrassed more than anything else. You don't care about that. You just want to get up, right? Like, oh God, am I embarrassed? So, but it went on for several weeks, and I went back to the doctor. They sent me to orthopedic specialists who told me that I had a major musculoskeletal condition. When you begin to start suffering, you listen to those that you believe have the skills and the abilities to make you better. Okay. So I did. And I ended up over a series of years going through multiple surgeries on my spine, from my neck to my tailbone, my hips, my back. And I kept getting worse. The medications that I would take and everything is so standard patent. You know, there's no, you treat this person one way and you treat the other. It was just the standard operating procedures. And my body did not like the medication. It was refuting it in all levels. And after a long time, I mean, I couldn't walk. I was bound to a wheelchair for a while. I was in so much pain that I did not want to be on earth anymore. It was very difficult to look at my husband and my sons because they knew the active, energetic, high-speed person I was. And we all had the same fears that I wasn't going to make it through it. You know, I had a very great friend who was a massage therapist who would come and try just to keep my muscles working and working with me. And after a while, he suggested a condition that I might have, that before this next surgery, I might want them to test me for. And of course, the doctors, 3 very prominent physical orthopedic specialists, decided that I couldn't possibly know what I was talking about. And who did I think I was, that I could do my self-diagnosis or that whatever. And I said, is it going to hurt to test? Fast forward, we did the test. What my friend suggested was correct. The piriformis had wrapped around my sciatic, and they did not from there want to do anything to me or for me, and told me that I should go into long-term care. Taking me home, literally, my husband and I cried all the way down the highway and prayed very hard because I was at the end. I couldn't stand anymore. I couldn't stand to look at people. I had no more uplifting thoughts. I just was really at my end. And being a child of God, very, very hard. And that night, I had a vision of my grandmother, who was a Cherokee Indian, coming to visit me. And I could not walk. I was unable to do, in reality, anything that she said, get up and walk to the kitchen, but we did. And we blended essential oils and blends all night long. And when I was done and the morning came, I knew what I was supposed to do. And my husband looked at me and told me, he said, "You just look different. What is it?" And I explained to him what happened. And he said, "Well, what do we need to do?" And I said, "Well, for me to get all the things that I need, I mean, it's like going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and I need books and I need to learn how to do this. And, we have within us, because of who we are, that need that we can't just be good. We have to be excellent."
Absolutely.
So while I was blending this for myself, and we did it, which was nowhere near the cost of what medical treatments are, I ordered, I researched, and without knowing that I was following the protocol of a school, I was looking what was happening with me, the whole of the person, my mental state, my ability to tolerate medications, how my stomach had gone to pot because of everything that I was taking, my irritability, my inability to sleep, my depression, all those things come into the whole of the person. You can't just support one side and leave the other out of whack. So my first creation was a blend that I just threw everything into the kitchen sink, and probably had nothing to do with right measures or other than the way that God instructed me to do it. However, the first time I tried it, I went for several hours and realized, wow, I'm not in pain. And it was such a shock that I didn't believe it. So I had to wait for my pain to come back and try it again to make sure that it had actually done what I thought it did. And a leap for joy, a hallelujah praise, oh my God, really doesn't even begin to get there, Princess. It really doesn't. I still marvel. Okay. I still marvel. And so as I I had a great friend who was a chiropractor, and the massage therapist used to do the U.S. Olympic teams. So he was great. And he had a practice called Twaina, which meant hurt the pain. And he did. And he did. And I said, "I can't believe I'm paying you to do this to me." But within months, I was able to stand on my own. And a few months after that, I was able to move with a walker, and slowly but surely, in spite of, I can run now. I can do most things that most people do. And I don't have any side effects. My body is in harmony with itself. I feel great. I'm inspired. I love what I do. I love reaching out to people and saying, I'm not a medical doctor, but I have some answers that I believe most people, if you gave it a shot, would find some relief. And the wonderful part about me and why I do it through my business, I promised God once he got me up that I would help anybody that I could help who really wanted to do it. And so in my consultations, when people come to me and they're talking to me about what they're going through, again, we have to have that honesty. I need to know what medications you're on so that we're not doing contraindicatory practices. I can't give someone an essential oil that would surface as a blood thinner if you're taking blood thinners. So exactly. It has to be twofold, that you're telling me exactly what you know and what we can do to work together, because there are hundreds of oils. There are hundreds of opportunities to help people. And when you and I talk, I know that there's always going to be some tweaking. So you can consult with me. I make the first blend, and it's a test. What in this blend worked for you? What did not work for you? You're sleeping better, but your stomach, you're still having problems with your digestion. So once we spend time on the first blend, say several weeks, we have a follow-up appointment, and you tell me how you're doing. what's improved, what hasn't improved, and then we'll tweak it, and the next bottle is on me.
Yeah.
So that's how
Great.
I say this is how serious I am. I'm not here just, I'm going to make money. I trust God for that. But
Yeah.
I also believe that what I'm selling is so much more valuable, because particularly us, we need to learn how to look after ourselves. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Doctors are very necessary. I'm not a medical doctor. I am not authorized to figure out what's wrong. But once we know, and once we talk, then there are natural products that grow in the ground, that come out the trees, the roots of the plants, that will sustain you in your healthcare journey.
Yeah, and that is so great. That is so great. And you look absolutely amazing. After that testimony, some of us and some people probably that's maybe listening or know some other people have struggled or suffered some of the same things, may not look so well. But you look great. You say you feel great, and you talked about some of the things that you're able to do. And it can be depressing, right, for us to go to medical professionals and they don't believe us, and they sometimes come across as if we're thinking that we know more than them, but we know our bodies, and we have to listen to that, right? And so I think we all have a place in this world to do, even doctors and nurses and whatever our specialty is. But we have the power to listen to our bodies. God has given us that great ability to listen to him and to listen to our bodies. And we have to listen to the wholeness of everything. And that's exactly what you did. And so we go through all of this. This is what I thought about when you share your testimony. We go through all of this, right? For our own purpose. So I look at, all the things that you had to overcome, all the pain, all the struggle, all of the therapy, the massage therapy, the chiropractic, the doctors, all of that. We go through all of it for a purpose. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just kind of thanking God right now that he brought that skill set and he brought that desire out of you, even through that pain. So can you talk to us a little bit about how did it feel for you? How did it feel for you? Or what was it like knowing that you had to reach this place that you are right now and abandon the years of broadcasting, the years of being in the public eye, what was that transition like? What was that transition like? Because that's totally two different things.
I was in the bed, and I got a certified letter that if I wanted to move to Washington, D.C. and obtain a desk job, that I could do that. I live in Ohio. My children were in school. My husband works here. And desk job was not me. Okay. There was no part of me that could accept that I was going to be handicapped for life. Mm-hmm. I couldn't. I'm trying real hard not to say I'd rather leave here. Okay. But
it's real.
I've had a career that reached out to people, that engaged people, encountered people my entire life. And I was stopped in my tracks. It's like one day I was fine and the next day I wasn't. And after that, instead of getting better, I got worse and worse. And I didn't think there was anything else. I had no clue. And I think that was the scariest part. What do I do after I've had this exciting life, after I've done so many things, after I've met so many people? And now I can't do anything. I can't even help people, which was actually the greatest part of the career that I had. The many, many people that, like you, Okay, restore my soul. I ran into places, where people did not want to be. I was there for people in Katrina. I have seen the damage and devastation of New York. I've been to California wildfires. Okay.
Yeah.
Loss and tragedy. People can't understand. I don't care how empathic you are. All right. But to be able to experience and rise above what you're going through and put that person ahead of yourself is something that's absolutely all the things that are written about in the Bible. And I just knew, I actually challenged God that if this is all that's left, I don't want it. I need you to get me up so I can do more good for more people. I had no idea that the things that I was using for myself, I would turn around and try to make into a business, or how can I reach out now? But in the years since, I have over 1,000 hours of essential oil studies. I am not yet a registered aromatherapist, but I soon will be. And at this point, there are less than 300 in the world. So just learning how to reach out and hope that people say first, we look at, first off, in the society we're in right now, medicine costs a lot. Medical surgeries and procedures cost. And there are so many that are unnecessary, at least at maybe the early point. I'm not, again, discrediting medicine, but studies in menopause, for instance, are now revealing that a lot of people, particularly people like myself who've had hip replacements or found out avascular necrosis, was menopause. So maybe if we start early enough, we can treat those symptoms of menopause so that the bone doesn't have to go to the point where it needs to be replaced. Those moments, okay, grief. Grief is like depression and pain. It can take you out of here.
Yes, it
There's
can.
nothing worse in the world than to love someone and to lose them. And American society has never celebrated that loss. We teach each other to mourn, and we hold on because we're just into the physical absence. We don't understand that the person has created a spot in us, has created a spot in other people, and that just our mere actions and thoughts of them keep them alive.
Absolutely.
But in that interim, in that moment between you finding your strength and your peace to go on, to restore your soul, there comes a lot of tears. There comes a lot of lonely nights. There comes a lot of pain. There comes a lot of stress because not everybody is financially set for that. So rather than having to spend $400 on antidepressants and all those things that you buy that cause your stomach now to start bothering you and you're still sleeping less, or as they say with antidepressants, it can cause suicidal thoughts. Why not try an oil that God made and let someone who is skilled at blending, anybody can blend, not knocking MLMs, anybody can learn how to put drops into a carrier oil, but that's really not all it is. Okay. There are things, again, I would need to know your health conditions. Are you taking any medications that might be contraindicatory? I could give you lavender. Everybody loves lavender, but if you have flower allergies, that lavender will make you so sick. Okay. So we intake as aromatherapists, we're trained to look and to ask and to do those same kind of things that would be appropriate in a medical facility. But then we take the oils and we make them something special that works for you. Okay. And it doesn't have side effects, and it doesn't, we can change it. If it doesn't work and you need a different version or you need to alter it a little bit, it can be done. And it can be done, anywhere from really 25 is too high, but it's say average $25 to $50 for a bottle. That's going to last and bring you no side effects.
Yes, and I'm a witness to that. And when you was talking about the blending and you've seen and we see different people doing different things with it, but I believe the missing ingredient sometimes can be just good old fashioned love. You got to love
Exactly.
to do it. You got to be caring enough to make sure that you have the right ingredients blended together for the benefit. And I think it's all individualized, right? It's all
Yeah.
it's no one thing that is going to help everybody. Everybody is tailor made, and then that means that all of our blends have to be tailor made as well. And I
Yeah.
love what you said about just rising above what we're going through in order to really get to that God-given purpose that he has given us to do, you know?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Sometimes it's very difficult to do, not sometimes, to step
Yeah.
outside of yourself. But when you do, and you realize that there are so many people who are benefiting by what you're doing, you benefit too. You know,
Yeah.
that love and that healing that you put out to other people comes right back on you. It
Yeah.
really
Yes, it
does.
does. Well, it has been such a great uh, episode and such a pleasure to talk to you today, Andrea. Thank you so much for joining today. And also, before we get off of here, I want to make sure that everybody understands and knows how to follow you, how to connect with you, even beyond this podcast.
Okay. Uh, I can be contacted through my website, www.earthsownessentials.com. I can be reached on Instagram, Earth's Own Essential Oils. I have a phone number, 614-670-2108. If you can't reach me, you can leave me a message and tell me whether you have conditions, you're just interested about, want some more information about some products on my website, whatever, and I will contact you directly. That's the one of the wonderful things I like. I believe in keeping that open communication. And, let me see, I gave you your website and the phone, yes, and the phone, 614-670-2108.
Are you on social media at all?
Yes, I am on Facebook at Earth's Own Essentials and Instagram, Earth's Own Essential Oils.
All right. And all of that information will be in the description of this episode, everybody. Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing with us today. And great success and luck. And I'll continue to contact you and let you know how my blend is going as well.
Wonderful. Please do. Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
You too. All right, y'all. This is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all heard Andrea say that we have to rise above what we're going through. It's time to step outside of ourselves to make sure that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you have been through, no matter what is to come, that you're able to keep up and follow along to your God-given purpose. Y'all make sure that you continue to follow me on all social media at Princess Millens and my website at princessmillens.com. You know, I always say grief is a journey, but you don't have to walk this thing along. We're going to do it every episode. And I will see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.
Thank you for joining another episode of Restore My Soul podcast. Be sure to listen and watch each week as we continue the conversation on how to bounce back from the setback of grief and loss and to become resilient so that you too can thrive in life. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any new episodes, and share this with as many people as possible so they can be encouraged in their emotional wellness journey. We invite you to follow Princess Millens on all social media platforms and on the website at princessmillens.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.